Welcome to A Love Letter for the Arts. Lemn Sissay MBE. We're so pleased to have him on the show with us. Hello, Lemn.
Hey, Dominic King. Pleasure to be here. Really is.
So, Lemn, we've been talking for the last few years now about the work that you've been doing, the books that you've written, the poetry you've brought to us all. And this whole experience on the air is about a love letter for the arts. This is what we've been doing here on Facebook and on YouTube. And it's been an experience. So many people have kind of said, yeah, actually, there has to be a moment where we respond back to the arts. What has the arts given us?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just at the moment judging the Booker Prize with 5 other judges and have been doing throughout lockdown. Bookshops are starting to open. More people are reading than I've ever read before. And books are, portals into our imaginations and into the imagination of each other. And I think there's never been a more important time for film, books, art galleries, music, and all of the arts, to be honest. It kind of bothers me that we spend so much time trying to prove the very basic fact that without the arts, our society would die, quite literally die. We would have no stimulus. We would be the perfect fodder for the international companies that would have us all become automated so that we could be accountable as products ourselves, as financial kind of equations, as digitized binary data. The human experience is reflected in art, which is why we like to dance, sing, listen to music.
You and I know, though, that the arts for many, many years, and maybe it's changed slightly during this lockdown period, it has been almost seen as this frivolous luxury part of our lives. And more people are realizing that actually it's the lifeblood. It's the opportunity to express yourself is often using another format in human emotion.
It just needs people to start to realize what art is. If we start to only think that art is something that we don't understand, then we fear it. But actually, there's a lot of things that we don't understand. We don't understand any James Bond film till we go and see it. Yeah. We don't understand the Marvel franchise until we go and see it. We're given an idea. Let's say the idea that as a man can fly, right? We buy into that idea, and then we go to the cinema to see that man who can fly do all kinds of incredible things. There is art. That is art. Why is it that we feel somehow that when we mention art or poetry, that we feel so distant from it? And yet we're engaging with it all of the time. This is the message that we need to get across to people.
That noise is so interesting because
look,
you're right,
Dominic, we go to church, we go to the mosques, or we have the Buddhist faith, or whatever your faith is. It's all shared with us through art, through song, through the art inside the institutions that hold the religions that we're in, through storytelling. There is some disconnect, which is really unfortunate, which makes people feel that they're not good enough for art, while at the same time engaging with it. We need to close the gap.
A love letter for the arts, then, Lemn. If you were talking to maybe if this was a figure itself or a feeling, what would you say to the arts about what it has brought to you, what it has given to you in your life?
Well, I've got to first, in my love letter to the arts, say thank you for giving me a life beyond my wildest dreams, and a life in which I have been able to help other lives. I mean, it's part of being an artist and being provided with the opportunity to develop as an artist is being able to give back to others. And I don't mean other artists. although that has been the case, but to give like to others, to help people who need help.
I mean, that's been a really key part, actually, when I first got to know you, about what you use art for. It seems to me, you've connected with communities here in Kent. You really made sure that when you were the poet laureate for Kent, Canterbury's laureate for the city, you absolutely connected with those you were working with, whether it was youngsters, whether it was the homeless at Christmas, making sure there was a kitchen serving food for those on the streets in a city that, everyone sees as this kind of gateway of culture, but actually there's an awful lot of poverty around every corner.
Yeah, and it's been the role of artists, I think, to connect business and local business and national business, actually, with places of need, and that means people who are in need. And one of the great things about Canterbury is all people needed was an excuse to be able to help. And then local businesses, they all helped young people who were leaving care. Artists can be the conduit between that need and the resources that are already in our community. It's a team game, the arts. It's not one person out there on their own, sort of like with a cape on. It is a team game. Don't become an artist if you think being an artist is a singular attitude. It's not.
It's about collaboration,
community, and success doesn't have to be isolating. Your success as an artist, as a broadcaster, actually, as in any field. Come to think of it, in law, it doesn't matter. Your success can be an excuse to help other people, or to connect with other people.
It was interesting recently seeing you on the program Imagine with Alan Yentob and seeing that. And I wonder if you just talk to us a little bit about what that experience was like for you, because it tapped into so many different emotions and feelings and travel. There is also a picture of you and Alan Yentob on the plane, which just made me laugh out loud, thinking of just you all sitting there. What did you talk about when, you'd run out of conversation?
I mean, Alan was a fun guy, It was we were in economy as well. A lot of people were impressed with him for that. But we just hung out, and I have a story. And the director, John O'Rourke, did an incredible job of capturing moments. Again, television is a team effort. You may see the person at the front end, but it's a team game. I could be said to be the goal scorer in certain fields, but I am nothing but a guy with a ball on a strange looking field if I'm there on my own. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm probably lost you with the football reference there. I'm not very good at football references myself.
No, but you and I don't play, and I was thinking. I mean, being serious about it, what you said there as well about. I was just thinking how. As an artist, yes, of course you're there in the front row, if you like, of your story, particularly with Imagine. But you're also working with other people who are trying to work out how they're going to tell the story. Is that difficult for you as someone who normally crafts that?
I understand, Dominic. One of the greatest things about really, truly knowing your story is that you can let it go. And that's what working with a team is. It's not all about me. An actual television documentary in real terms is a collaboration piece, and it is mainly the director's gig. Okay, the presenter is one thing, the subject is another, but actually it's the director who is the eye behind the camera. And that's how I think of making a documentary. So when they wanted to make it on me, I was like, it's your film. Come follow me. Here's my research. Wherever you take it is wherever I'll go.
Was that a difficult thing to? I mean, you and I have spoken on the air. We've done big long form pieces together about your own story of how you started out in life and your story as an artist. But is that something that when that's being made into a visual presentation, as it were, And I know the Imagine programs are brilliant at doing it, but is that a challenge? Is that a challenge for you to see that?
Oh, to see it, that's a different ball game, because it's not my view, it's the director's view. So the question for the director is, I have all of this research that Lem's given me.
Yeah.
But is it true? The only way of finding if it's true is to interview the human beings that Lemn is talking about and find others, you know, or is to choose who to interview. And then, you know, and so they did. And, you know, the deeper they went, the more it confirmed that the story that I tell them is true, you know, and that's the beauty of the documentary process. You shouldn't embark on a documentary knowing how it's going to end.
The book that, of course, as I told you when I met you in London at Broadcasting House, I said to you that, you know, it had such a profound impact on me. It was something that I was able to have some connection with my own family of fostering and adoption, and thinking of my sister particularly, and I really connected with you on that. And
yeah,
you know, when I read the book, you know, tears and emotion, I'm sure, is shared by lots of people who read it. But you are so, and anyone who hasn't read it must, you're so brutally honest about what that experience was like. But at the same time, we learn things too about human nature. That's for me a real key of that book: human nature and how people react to things.
Yes, yeah. Thank you for that. I mean, yeah, I receive messages from people every day to say how they have been moved by the book, and that's all you could ever want when you write a memoir, is for people to be touched. And it is the Nat King Cole line, you know, the greatest thing you'll ever learn is to love and be loved in return, whatever your story is.
Yeah, that's, I guess, key, isn't it? That we all have stories. We all have our own individual family stories. They all come together. But sometimes when you write a book about your story, you are able to connect with people who maybe haven't had the chance to express their story. And that's really amazing as an artist, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what you want your art to do, to be very specific, and yet, you know, many people can relate to it.
So the arts, a love letter for the arts. Where do you think we are right now, Lemn, in this country with dealing with the pandemic and beyond when it comes to the arts, theatre, film, books, poetry?
Well, it's, you know, like every other industry, it's getting a shakedown. But I have total belief in the facts. And the facts are that art will always find its place. It will always be a part of our communities because, like it or not, whether you know it or not, art is part of your life.
What inspires you to keep going? I'm sure there'll be lots of people watching this now going, okay, so how do you keep putting one foot forward and then the next and then the next? What is it in your world?
Well, I mean, from my perspective, I was born to do what I do. So I guess I just keep on keeping on, man.
Lemn, it's been really lovely as always talking to you, and thank you for being part of this as well, because I know it'll be a real honor for lots of people to be able to see you talk to us about it and the arts particularly. And thank you as well for the and I'm going to say it, the courage to write that story, because not everyone would want to go beyond their own personal experience, and you really have for My Name Is Why, and I'm proud to have been a reader of that book.
Thanks, man.
Lemn Sissay MBE, thank you so much.
For me, the basis of all art, of all great art, great culture, whether it be film, theatre, painting, dance, sculpture, all art, is sharing. Sharing what it's like to walk a little in someone else's shoes, the sharing of ideas and emotions, sharing what it is to be human, with all the nuances and contradictions of human nature. Art, for me, shares the fact that we're all just trying to work things out. trying to make the best of the limited time we have to be here. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily saying that life is fair, but it is saying that there are feelings that bind us. It runs on empathy, and it's a great reminder of the importance of empathy in what I think is such a divisive time.
The arts is a very simple name for a rich and diverse basket. The arts take us to the best of ourselves. The artist is our guide. Please, please let us protect every aspect of the arts.
Dear the arts, it's a shame you're known collectively as the arts. I think it makes you sound a bit unapproachable and like you're going to make me feel that I don't know anything or that you aren't for me. Anyway, I'm really relieved that you're getting some help. You mean a lot to me. I'm not even quite sure when we first met, but as a not very sporty child, you gave me chances to shine in other ways, playing music, singing, acting, dancing. You gave me confidence, a sense of achievement and a direction in life.
We need the government to write its own love letter for the arts on the back of not just one large cheque, but many, each of which will filter down to the grassroots venues, the freelancers, the arts centres at the beating hearts of their communities. As Joni Mitchell put it so memorably once upon a time in a bittersweet ballad in 1970, whose message still endures to this day, "Don't it always seem to go, that you don't know what you've got till it's gone."
I heard the most gorgeous fact recently. I do hope it's true. I'm saying it's a fact. It's only something that someone told me. In those pin drop moments in the theatre, when everyone's collectively holding their breath, waiting for the big laugh or the tears or the temper or the eureka moment, you know those moments where you can literally hear a pin drop in an enormous building. Apparently, everybody's heart starts beating at the same time.